Imagine being able to create professional level video full of cinematic visuals, crisp audio, even a cameo of yourself explaining your product, all without a camera crew, an editor, or weeks of planning. Imagine just typing it in as a prompt and watching it appear. That is what Sora 2 is making possible. And it's not a Sunday thing. It's here now.
Welcome to Marketing Trends Now. I'm Katie Brinkley, a social media strategist who's been in the game for over 2 decades. And I'm a business owner just like you. If you want to stay ahead of the algorithm without burning out, I've got you. I know you've got a business to run, so I'm going to keep it short, smart, and worth your time.
Let's dive into today's episode. Man, we are talking about something brand new, and honestly, it is a game changer. OpenAI just released Sora 2, their next generation video and audio generation model. And I know that might sound like something just for the tech blogs, but stick with me because Sora 2 means entrepreneurs, small business owners, and creators. This is huge for you. And it's not just another update. It's not just AI making another, like another parlor trick. Sora 2 is the first time that we've seen video generation reach a level where it's not just impressive, it's actually useful. So let's start with what Sora 2 actually does. The first version of Sora back in 2024 was kind of like ChatGPT 1. It was like the ChatGPT 1 moment for video. It was exciting because it showed potential, but it was still pretty clunky. People had 6 fingers, objects didn't always make sense, and physics, physics went right out the window. It felt more like a novelty than a tool. Sora 2 changed all of that. Think of it as the ChatGPT 3.5 stage for video. And you might say, well, wait a second, Katie, we're at ChatGPT 5 right now. This is where, there's still room for potential with this. And suddenly, this is what we're seeing with Sora 2. We're seeing real-world physics applied in AI-generated video. If you ask it to make a basketball player shoot and they miss, the ball just doesn't magically teleport, into the hoop anymore. It bounces off the backboard like it would in real life. If you prompt a gymnast to do a backflip on a paddleboard, the paddleboard reacts the same way the paddleboard actually would on water. These might sound like small details, right? You might, okay, but honestly, they're huge because they show that the model isn't just spitting out visuals anymore. They're simulating reality. And on top of that, Sora 2 doesn't just generate video. It does audio too. Realistic background soundscapes, voices, effects. And here's the part that really blows me away. It can insert you, your face, your voice, your likeness into any scene with a remarkable accuracy. We're not just talking about stock footage anymore, folks. We're talking about custom cinematic level content with you at the center. And you might be wondering, okay, well, why does this matter for my business? I'm not going to be an actor or anything. Well, here's the simple answer. Video is still the king of content. It is the best way to build connection, to show authority, and to sell. But, let's be real. Creating good video has always been a little bit on the pricey side, and it's pretty time consuming. You need the equipment, you need editors, sets, or at least, a couple of hours trying to DIY it. Sora 2, it changes the equation completely. Suddenly, you don't have to rent a studio to look polished. You don't need to spend thousands on ads just to test a few creative ideas. You can go from idea to finished video in a fraction of the time at a fraction of the cost. And that opens a ton of doors for small business owners like we've never seen before. A solopreneur can now create launch videos that look like they came out of, Madison Avenue agency. A local shop can generate endless variations of product demos or seasonal ads without having to hire talent. Coaches and consultants, they can create personalized video content that feels like it was tailor-made for each client. This isn't about replacing video as we know it. It's about giving you access to the kind of video that used to be completely out of reach. So let's make this practical. If I were running a campaign today with Sora 2 in my toolkit, here is how I'd think about it. First, I'd look at the content that I was already making, maybe a podcast episode, maybe it's a webinar, or maybe it's just even a social post that performed well. With Sora 2, I can instantly spin that video into different formats and styles for every platform. I could have a cinematic teaser for YouTube, a quick vertical cut for TikTok, and an animated version for Instagram, all generated within minutes. Then, you think about personalization. One of the most exciting features is this cameo ability where you can basically drop yourself into any scene. Imagine recording one short clip of yourself once and then having the ability to appear in endless scenarios, whether that's walking through a futuristic city, explaining your product, or simply delivering a direct message directly to your client in a way that feels personal and real. That kind of personalization at scale is something that businesses have been chasing forever. And finally, I think about testing. One of the hardest parts of paid ads is getting the creative right. With Sora 2, you could generate multiple polished variations of an ad, test them quickly, and double down on what works without blowing your budget on production. Now, I want to be clear, Sora 2 is powerful, but it's not perfect. Sometimes moments still look a little uncanny. Sometimes the audio doesn't quite match. And of course, there's very real conversations about safety, consent, and making sure your likeness isn't used without permission, right? It can be a little scary giving your name and likeness to a robot. But here's what you need to remember. This is the worst Sora will ever be. Just like language models, ChatGPT 5, Claude, whatever, video generation is improving at a speed that we have never seen before. And what feels experimental today is going to feel totally normal a year from now. And that means you have a choice, right? Do you want to wait until everyone else is already using this, or do you want to start learning how to use it now while there is still time to stand out? Where do things stand right now? OpenAI is rolling out Sora 2 in a new iOS app called Sora. It's invite-based to start and is launching in the US and Canada first. The app is built around this idea of creating and remixing videos with friends using that cameo feature I mentioned. And while, it all sounds social, it should sound social. I do think there's going to be a social element coming to Sora, and it will be another social platform, but that's a podcast for another day. The businesses that are using Sora right now is allowing you so many opportunities to be creative. And I do predict in the next year, tools like Sora are going to be just as normal in your marketing toolkit as Canva or Descript. And the businesses that lean in early are going to have a massive advantage. So here's your big takeaway. Sora 2 is lowering the barrier of entry for video creators in a way that's never been done before. If you've been hesitant about video because of the time, the money, or the tech, well, that excuse just got wiped away. This is the start of a new era where anyone, no matter your budget, can create professional level video to connect with their audience. And if you want to stay ahead, the best thing you can do is start experimenting now. Even small projects will give you the confidence and the edge to compete as this technology becomes even more mainstream. If you found today's episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, share it with another business owner that you think could benefit from using Sora 2 as part of their marketing toolkit. And until then, keep your marketing smart, strategic, and always on trend.